What is going on, guys? What's poppin'? So today we're going to talk about the Super Bowl. I'm going to make some predictions. I'm going to talk about who I want to win, who I think will win, and talk about the two teams just in general, how they match up, probably position by position. And let's go and start with Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes, probably the greatest quarterback of all time versus the best quarterback right now, and Pat Mahomes. And one thing Tom Brady definitely brings to the table is just a wealth of experience that no other football player, maybe even in the history of the NFL, has ever just brought to the table, right? And Pat Mahomes, who has extremely high football IQ, in my opinion, nobody's going to match up with Tom Brady in that factor. At the same time, right now, I think Tampa has the more explosive offense in general, and if I'm picking one team over the other, I definitely think that the Chiefs are probably going to win the Super Bowl. However, I'm going to be rooting on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, mostly because I just think it's really impressive what Tom Brady's done at 43, 44 years old. Everybody called him a system quarterback. Everybody said that Bill Belichick was the reason why he won all those Super Bowls, why he was so great, because all the weapons he had, blah, blah, blah. So the year he leaves New England, he goes over to Tampa and gets them right back to the Super Bowl, right? After Tampa was a fobbling playoff team, and I still hear some of the things. I have buddies still trying to tell me he's a system quarterback. Well, he's in a different system this year. Different head coach, different players, yada, 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 same results, right? And the other argument I've heard is, well, he has a ton of weapons in Tampa, and Tampa was so bad or so good last year. They just had horrible quarterback play and Jameis Winston, and all they needed was just a decent quarterback to take them to the Super Bowl. One, I think that's a bunch of crap. Does he have a lot of weapons? Yeah, absolutely, right? He has a couple more than Tampa did last year. Nothing overwhelming, in my opinion. Yeah, Antonio Brown's definitely a talent for sure. But last year, they didn't have Gronk, but they had O.J. Howard at the tight end position. I think he's been injured all season. But at the same time, most good teams have weapons, right? I mean, you talk about Aaron Rodgers being so great, and he has Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams. We talk about Patrick Mahomes' greatness, and he has Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, right? So, yeah, really good quarterbacks on good teams are going to have some weapons. You see good quarterbacks on bad teams, like Deshaun Watson right now, and without weapons, he hasn't really done much, right? So, you have to give some credit to the rest of the team, but he still took them to the Super Bowl. So that says something to me. And at the same time, trying to say that a player isn't good because of the people around him, that's just it's kind of insane to me. Different sport, but as a Spurs fan, like saying Tim Duncan's not the greatest power forward of all time because he had Manu Ginobili, he had Kawhi Leonard, he had Tony Parker. It doesn't take away from the one person's greatness, right? And Tom Brady, does he have the physical tools, the talent as some of those guys, as like an Aaron Rodgers? No, probably not. But he's managed to outwork them and outsmart them over a 20-year career, and I think there's definitely something to be said for that, right? Another thing is saying that Jameis Winston was so bad, and yeah, he did throw 30 picks last year. Don't forget 30 touchdowns too, but he was bad, right? But just to expect an average quarterback to come in and take them to the Super Bowl, yeah, I don't see it. When is the last time you saw a team just completely turn around just because of the quarterback, going from not being a playoff team? Now, you can convince me that a guy like Matt Stafford would come in and make them a playoff team. You could convince me a guy like a Deshaun Watson would come in and make them a playoff contender. But would he take them to the Super Bowl year one? I don't know, maybe. But personally, I don't see it. So I have to say it's really impressive to me. It's made me gain a lot of respect for Tom Brady as a player, as a competitor, and just the hard work he puts into the sport, right? So let me know your thoughts in the comments on Tom Brady, because I know he's definitely a guy you either love or hate. I never really cared too much about him, but I am becoming a fan now that he's out of New England. And so I'll be cheering for him to get one more, because I got tired of hearing he won because of Belichick, blah blah blah. I mean, he struggled last year, but finally got some weapons again in Tampa and managing to get it done. Now let's talk about the other positions and how they match up. The running back position, I don't know who I would give the advantage over, right? Throughout the season, I think you definitely have to say the Chiefs. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is probably the most talented back in this game, hands down, bar none. So I would personally give the running back edge to the Chiefs. However, you have to take into account that Leonard Fournette has been balling out all playoffs. I think he's got multiple 70-plus yard games, multiple touchdowns. So he's been really impressive. It's kind of crazy how he struggled in Jacksonville all those years, and now he's coming in with clutch performances in the playoffs, just, a few miles away in Tampa, right? So that's interesting. The wide receiver position, you definitely have to give the edge to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with guys like Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. Sometimes Brady just throws the ball up in the air for Mike Evans to go up and get, and it works more often than not. As a Texas A&M fan, Johnny Manziel used to do the same thing. It got Manziel drafted in the first round, and Mike Evans is a stud at the wide receiver position, 6'5", 230. Dude can do it all. So he's great. And then we got Scotty Miller, who deceptively just surprisingly fast, really fast. He said he's faster than Tyreek Hill. Do I believe that? Not for a second, but he's still really fast and really talented. So the wide receiver core there is really good. Now you could say similar things for the Kansas City Chiefs, and they have in my opinion, the most overpowered wide receiver in the NFL and in this game, and it's going to be Tyreek Hill, the fastest player in this game, and he tends to eat up the Tampa Bay Buccaneers secondary, right? So he's going to be a major problem for them. And then they got other talent. I mean, Sammy Watkins is a really solid number 2. You got Hardeman, you got all those guys, and they definitely are solid at the wide receiver position as well, even though they don't have the absolute all-out studs like Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Antonio Brown being your third best receiver is just kind of nuts in my opinion. But anyways, moving on to the tight end position, I would definitely go with the Chiefs just because Travis Kelce is just hands and shoulders, better than any other tight end playing in this game. He's the best tight end in the world right now, and he's going up against one of the best tight ends of all time in Rob Gronkowski and Cameron Brate, who's another very good tight end. Gronkowski and Cameron Brate are definitely above average tight ends in the NFL, but they're going up against the elite, right? Now, moving on to the offensive line, I know the Chiefs are dealing with a lot of injuries. I want to say center, left tackle, maybe even right tackle. I think Mitchell Schwartz missed most of the season as well. So that's going to be to the advantage of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, they don't have a great left tackle. I think it's like Donovan Wells, right guard, Alex Kappa, just average to below average. But the rest of their offensive line is surprisingly really solid, really good center, really good right tackle. I want to say they have a good left guard as well. So people talk about Brady's offensive line being poor, and it's mostly because of that left tackle position this year just wasn't very solid. But at the same time, it's not horrible, and they definitely have the advantage there this game. Moving on to the defensive line, and Tampa Bay is just awesome there. They got Vita Vea, big dude, 350 pounds to stuff the run, and Ndamukong Suh right next to them. And we'll kind of go defensive line and linebacker because I'm giving them the edge with linebackers as well. Although you can say that just maybe I would give the edge to Kansas City with the defensive line because Chris Jones is really good, and you got Frank Clark, who's a big game player. I could see him getting after Tom Brady in this game. But the linebacker position, I'm definitely giving the edge to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who may have the best linebacker duo and core in the NFL, and Devin White and the other guy who is a Pro Bowler, and I can't think of his name. Is it Levante David? I believe it is. And so I kind of had a slip up there. But those two, Devin White has a lot of speed. He gets after the quarterback. He's not horrible in coverage. He's not great. He's second-year player, I believe. Jason Pierre-Paul on the edge, just experienced pass rusher from that left side. And then the pass rusher on the right, I was about to say, I'm forgetting names again, but Shaq Barrett. So really good. I want to say he led the league in sacks either this year or last year. So they definitely have the advantage there. And the secondary, that's where Tampa's a little shaky. And that's where we'll talk about how Tyreek Hill is just going to eat him up. I think he has like 200-something, 300 yards in their matchups this season, and like 3 touchdowns against Tampa. Travis Kelce, I believe, also had 100-plus yards, and both times they matched up during the regular season. Now, another thing is Tyrann Mathieu has like 7 picks this year, really good in the secondary, and Brady's got to be careful with the honey badger back there, right? So overall, I'd say you definitely got to give the advantage to the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, they definitely have the overpowered talent on offense, being Pat Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce. Those are going to be the 3 best offensive talents in this game. However, at the same time, I do expect this to kind of be a shootout because, you know, nobody prepares better than Tom Brady, and I expect him to be ready. Do they have the talent? Yeah, they definitely have competitive talent. I mean, when you have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and a solid running back and Tom Brady, you're going to compete with pretty much anybody in the world. But we have to consider this may be the best NFL team of all time in this Kansas City Chiefs team. I'd give the coaching edge to Andy Reid as well. It's really impressive to see him going from Philly, being a really good coach all those years, to just take up his game a whole nother level as a coach, to being an elite coach, putting this team together in Kansas City. So happy for him. It's really awesome for him. But anyways, guys, this should be a really fun matchup. Like I said, I do expect it to be a shootout. Now, there's always that chance that they think they can keep Patrick Mahomes off the field, run the ball. Leonard Fournette has had success, but you have to be careful because the next thing you know, you're down 14-3 in the second quarter against Pat Mahomes, and the running game, it's just over from there. So you definitely got to mix in the run, but I think you got to let Bruce Arians run a fun, creative offense, and you got to let Brady and the receivers go out there and do their thing. And as good as Brady is, you got to give him a chance to go out and win the game, right? So guys, do me a favor and leave your predictions, your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you smash that subscribe button and the notification bell for some more NFL, NBA content coming your way pretty much every week. And yeah, I'll make a prediction real quick. Let's go 52 to 52 might be. Let's go 45-32 Kansas City. And that's going to do it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'm out. Peace.